Capcom Pro Tour has a major issue that needs addressing for next season. This weekend, the offline portion of the Capcom Cup came to an end with the final event, King of the World. The event was run by Emperor for South Korea, who put on an amazing display with his kin, defeating Killzhu in the grand finals and securing his spot in the Capcom Cup, where he'll be competing for the $1 million. Given the high-level talent that was on display this weekend, one would think that Emperor would get the recognition for the stellar performance that he put on. However, his performance has been overshadowed by players who were unhappy with the event. Their frustrations and criticism have once again sparked the debate about turning the standards, so I want to take a closer look at some of their responses. Now, the first tweet comes from one Punk the God, in which he states that this is easily the worst setup that I have touched in my life. Now, Punk would then tweet out again, in which he followed up his sentiments, but giving a bit more detail, in which he states that I know the venue is Samsung, but I just realized the monitor is also Samsung, and I'm pretty sure that's why they're so bad. I don't know one person who has ever played on a Samsung monitor. CPT has to get standards. I shouldn't be flying 10 plus hours to fight technical problems instead of my opponent. Now, one person might look at these tweets and just say this is just Punk salt tweeting like he always does after a loss. But there was a surprising player that spoke his thoughts, and that was Ending Walker. Ending Walker will go on to post this thread, in which he starts by saying, with this being the end of the season, I think it's finally time I share my opinion on this. PS5 is not a competitive console, it's inconsistent, laggy. The vast majority of pro players use PC to practice. Flying 10 hours to go to a tournament and lose to the setup without learning isn't okay. And then we go on with some other tweets just basically saying PS5 is trash. Once again, you could probably make the argument that Ending Walker is being a little bit salty, considering the fact that he just hasn't qualified for Capcom Cup and that this was his last opportunity too, and unfortunately he wasn't able to do it. But there was a funny image that came from the event in which you clearly see the issue with the PS5.
Hell no, man.
Now, hopefully from the responses, Capcom finally puts into action a plan in which they can standardize the setups across the board for their offline premieres. But I'm not really holding my breath for it, because at the end of the day, it is Capcom. Let me know your thoughts down below about the situation, and follow me for more content.